I just started reading not In the Weeds. That's the book I read last. I just started reading Mixed Signals by BK Borrison. I put it on hold after I finished reading In the Weeds, and it came in. And I just started reading it last night, and I am 35% of the way through. I just want to keep reading this book. I don't want to do other things. I just want to read this book. It's really good. I really like both the characters. It's about Layla, who works at the Love Life Farms bakehouse, and Caleb, who in the first two books was a cop, but in this book he's a substitute teacher. And there's like a specific point made about like he was too nice to be a cop, and I'm like, that is a good pivot. Thank you for not making this a cop romance. I appreciate that because I want to read all the books in this series, but I don't know if I could read a cop romance. So I appreciate that. And they're both just very sweet. And I like that Caleb is very smitten and awkward, but also unwittingly very, in some ways, smooth, very romantic, very thoughtful. I just think that it's a very fun dynamic. This book makes me very hungry because Layla is a baker and she talks about baking things a lot. It just continues to be a really good book. This author is very good at writing romance. Who would have thunk? And I'm excited to keep reading it, but I need to do other things, so I have to take a break. So, I read the entirety of Mixed Signals already. I think it's been maybe 2 days since I updated, if even 2 days. Yep, I read the entire thing that quickly. I forgot to update it at any point. It was a really good book. I really like BK Borrison's voice and writing, and I like the way she navigates. In every book so far, the characters have very similar flaws. At their core, their flaws are very similar. And so that both makes them like connect really well because they get it, but it also makes them conflict very sharply because, or like fall apart in a very particular way because they're both kind of coming at things from the same but different issue. So like in this one, Caleb feels like he's always too much for people, and Layla always feels like she's not enough. And that's kind of the same thing, but like from a different angle. And so of course they both, at the end of this arrangement, because did I even talk about the plot? What happens is Layla has just had bad date after bad date after bad date after bad date. And she ends up running into Caleb after one of her bad dates. Her date had like left without her and they were like way out of town. So Caleb was like, okay, I'm going to drive you because what? And during the drive, they like talk about her dating stuff and how much of a problem it's been. And he opens up a bit about his dating issues. He ends up suggesting that they have an arrangement. And the arrangement they come to is that for 1 month, they will practice dating each other, essentially. So it's not fake dating, but it's not real dating either. It's supposed to be they're just practicing. So he gets to take her out on dates, get feedback on how he is, like if he's being overbearing or moving too fast or getting too intense with things. And she also gets to like experience, proper dates with someone who doesn't, abandon her or treat her terribly or ignore her, or right. The idea is that it's supposed to give both of them more confidence in dating. The way it falls apart makes a lot of sense in terms of like the reason that they started doing it, but also just like who they are as people. It's really hard to explain without actually getting into the details. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. This one was a lot lighter on the smut. There was only one actual, I guess technically two sex scenes in this, but one of them was a fully clothed scene, so I don't know if that counts. There's a lot of talk of food in this book, lots of talk of food because Layla's a baker, so this book made me very hungry. And I don't know, it was just very cute. Layla and Caleb are both very cute. I really enjoyed their dynamic together. I loved the whole vibe of like Caleb being so smitten with her and her being so oblivious. It was just a really good book. I want to say more things about it because this video is going to be extremely short because I forgot to talk about the book. But I don't really know what else to say without getting into spoilers other than just it was a good book and it was well written and I really like the characters and their dynamic, and I definitely want to continue reading this author's writing. I I know there's at least one more book in this series. I don't know if there's another one past that. I think it's Charlie, who's Stella's brother, and Nova, who's Beckett's sister. I think it's between them. And there's like some hints at that in this book, which I think is a fun little thing in this series. That is something I want to revisit these books at some point. They're very rereadable books. I think that would be a fun thing to just like make note of, is like how are each of these things kind of like led into book to book to book. I think that could be fun. Because I remember even in the first book, I'm pretty sure there were references to Caleb being smitten with Layla. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about this book. For an emoji, do some kind of baked good for Layla. And thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, do all the things like comment, subscribe, share. And yeah, that's all I've got so far. Okay, bye.